So as some of you may know, I switched over to Windows 11 about 2.5 months ago, something like that. And some of you might be wondering why, especially those of you who are on Twitch. By the way, links are down below. But you guys know that I rag on Windows so much. So why did I decide to upgrade to a new version of Windows? Well, usually just for you guys, but still. Let's just get right into the video. As we get into chapter 1, which is the stuff that I liked about it, let's just start from the beginning. So I was originally going to have a dual boot Windows 10 and 11 system so that I can compare benchmarks and whatnot. However, I unfortunately wrote over my entire Windows 10 installation like a retard, but that doesn't matter. All I know is that I have Windows 11. So let's start off with OBS. With Windows 10 on some installations, and I've tried with several homebrew installations, and some just making it fresh with the creator tool that Microsoft provides you. Sometimes OBS just won't have the right drivers to run. I don't know what it is, why it is, but it just will not have the right drivers, and it just won't work. And this really upset me for a while, because I would have to dig so far into a Reddit forum, and oh my god, I needed a shower after all of my digging, and that was just to find drivers that wouldn't work, because they were outdated. So you guys can understand my frustration. Now, with Windows 11, I downloaded it. I downloaded OBS to record some footage and whatnot, and boom, it just worked. To my surprise, it opened, and I could record, I could stream till my heart was content. Thank the Microsoft Bill Gates gods. So, I would have to give a point to Windows 11 right now, because so far, it's better in the one thing that I've talked about so far. Speaking of drivers, Premiere Pro and After Effects also sometimes wanted to work, sometimes didn't on Windows 10, but so far on Windows 11, I installed them and they just work. No extra crap needed. Now let's get to the bad parts of Windows 11, and this is all within the first week, except for the benchmarks, of course. So the first time installing it, I was forced to use a Microsoft account, mainly because I was being an idiot and I forgot to unplug my Ethernet cord. But it didn't end up being a bad thing because I forgot that I had a legitimate Windows 10 license on that account, and so I just activated Windows 11 with it. Doing that though, I had a lot of venereal disease on my computer. Things such as TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, Disney Plus, and whatever the frick Clip Champ was. Plus, you had the original BS from Windows 10. Now, I do want to say that Forza didn't initially launch, and I don't know if it's a Windows 11 thing or if it's a Windows 10 thing, because I reinstalled it and I bought it on Steam. But I reinstalled it, and all the drivers, I guess, finished installing with it. It was some with Windows 11, and it wasn't only on my system, at least is what Reddit was telling me. God, Windows 11 has made me use Reddit way too much. So, okay. Who wins? I don't freaking know. Windows 11 had more? So I guess Windows 10 wins one. So what? Windows 11 2? Windows 10 1? So, the second week. This was when I was doing more gaming and more VR content. It was so bad. I hated every second of it. Till I got it working. Now, I have the Quest 2, and screw you Facebook, it's called the Oculus Quest 2, I should say. Because it has Oculus printed on the side of the box in big black letters, and it has it on the front. But we'll get into the Oculus rant later. I use Airlink. Basically, with the Quest, you can play it standalone without having to connect a computer to it, or you can connect a computer to it, and it's just a really cheap VR headset. I use Airlink, which takes that cord, because normally you'd connect it with a link cable. It takes that cord and just connects it through your internet. With Windows 10, the way this would work is you would go into your Oculus settings. I can speak proper English. And you would enable Airlink. And then you go into your Oculus headset, you would enable Airlink. And as long as you guys were on the same Wi-Fi, it would be able to find the computer, and it would show you like, hey, this is a device that you can connect. And then you would just connect to it. Easy peasy, easiest thing in the world. However, with Windows 11, you didn't have to turn it on in the Oculus app on the PC. So I would sit there and I would be like, oh, okay, I can connect to it. And see, I didn't know this was a thing until later. Freaking, it didn't work. I would just sit there loading in a black room for hours and until I could figure out how to fix it. That, and if you are using the Oculus's runtime environment over Steam VR's runtime environment for VR, sometimes it won't let you in. Like, you'll just be sitting there loading into your Steam Home in VR, and you'll just sit there loading, and some games won't launch at all. They'll launch, and it'll show it, and you can move your controllers around, but like, there's no signal going to your headset. So I had to figure out how to enable Steams over Oculus's, and that was a whole other headache. And I know I'm making a big deal about the VR side of Windows 11, but in all fairness, to be fair, on the Oculus website it said Windows 11 not fully supported. But like I said earlier, I hated it up till I got it working. Since you're connecting over the internet, your Wi-Fi, you're essentially streaming your PC to your Quest. Sometimes if you guys are watching my stream and quality drops, that means the bitrate is dropping. If the bitrate drops, the same thing that happens to the stream happens in the headset. And I've seen it drop down to like 140p. I've seen it where, like, in Beat Saber more specifically, I've noticed, it's Beat Saber that causes it. I'll go to swing and it'll be like a couple of frames behind, which in a game like Beat Saber where you need to be extremely precise, it isn't very good, and it just causes a whole world of problems. Now with Windows 11, when I got it working, and let's talk about the audio side, but real quick, I got it working, but without audio for like a week, and then the audio just fixed itself. I don't know if it was an update that was pushed out, but just I couldn't hear anything. And so that's when I just connected my speakers to my computer, and I played it through my speakers. It was bad, so I didn't play Beat Saber, but things like Pavlov, where you don't exactly need like to sync up your swings with the beats of the song, Pavlov worked great for zombies and whatnot, and a couple of other apps that I was playing on. And if I wanted to play VR chat, I just used it on the Quest and I didn't connect it to my computer. But yeah, like I was saying, on Windows 11, I haven't played VR too much on it yet. I've been busy with moving, as you guys know from my last video, which is why this video is delayed by almost a month. But yeah, I haven't experienced any buffering or anything like that. It's just been working, and that's all I want out of my VR headset. Is it just to, if I get a kick and I want to play Pavlov, or I want to play VR chat or Beat Saber or any VR game, I just want to be able to plug it up to my computer through the interwebs, and it worked. That's why I bought a Quest, and I didn't save up more money to buy something like an HTC Vive. I went through and I cleaned up Windows 11. I know that I talked about the venereal disease and the bloatware earlier. However, I'll go about how I cleaned it up. So the first thing I always run on any new instance of Windows is I'll either run This is Windows 11 or Windows 10 debootloader. I have them both on a thumb drive, and I have them backed up to a hard drive that's not at my house because the software is amazing and I would cry if I lost it. So basically what it is with This is Windows 11, I'll leave the download link in the description below, but it lets you go through and fine-tune Windows. It gets rid of one box, it gets rid of freaking everything. If you don't want it, it don't gotta be there. Gets rid of the Xbox crap. Hey, you might be like me. If you have Forza though, any of the Forzas or any like Microsoft game that is multiplayer, I don't recommend getting rid of Xbox, because when I did, I had to reinstall everything to play with viewers on my stream and play online conveniently. But like, if you're like me and you don't care about Xbox, delete the crap, you know? But like, you can disable telemetry, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. And it's such an amazing piece of like software. And it just helps so much. And the second bit of software that I used was, well, it was Patch My PC. That's the second bit of software that I probably couldn't live without. Basically what it is, it's an installer. I can have it set to where I fresh install Windows 11 or 10. I've used it on both. And I can have it to where I turn on the software and I have it installed Discord, OBS, since I do programming like I can't remember the name of the software, but it's whatever. I can have it install Proton, I can have it install anything. Epic Games, Steam, Firefox, and all of my runtime and C++ runtimes and whatnot. That's the greatest thing about it, because if something isn't working because of a driver, like a runtime driver, I guarantee you I can go there, click install on all of them, click one button, and then everything installs. What was the everyday use like? And I'm gonna add, this is a bit that I added earlier this morning, so yeah. So as someone who edits for a few different people, I deal with a large amount of files and a lot of files. I deal with large files and a large amount of files. So, yeah, and I do it on the daily just about. So File Explorer, now this has been rectified and fixed, but File Explorer would just crash and hang and just not be good. Like I said, it was fixed, so no issues with that. However, it was a huge issue for me, and so glad that got fixed. Another thing that got fixed is when you would right click to, say, make a new text document, or to make a new file, or to zip something, it would just like open anywhere except where you right clicked it. So it would open on my second monitor. If I clicked down near the taskbar, it'd open up in the top left hand corner of the screen. Like, it just, it was bad. That has also been fixed though. And it wasn't something that you would typically like do every day, but the times that I did have to do it, it was annoying. Another thing, and this hasn't been fixed, and I don't think it will, because I don't think it's meant to be. But whenever you insert a file, or like a thumb drive, or external hard drive, it would either open it up in a, File Explorer tab, or it would ask you what you would want to do with it, like use it to burn a CD, or use it just for transferring files, and having it do that instead of me having to go into File Manager, find it myself, was just so much nicer. And it's, again, something that a lot of people probably won't care about, but me, I like it because I deal with a lot of thumb drives, and I deal with a lot of hard drives. So, who do I give the W here? Like, who gets the dub? Who gets the victory royale? Well, I'm gonna have to say Windows 11. I honestly have had a bit better of an experience on Windows 11 than I have the 4 years of running Windows 10. Now again, I've run Windows 10 for like 4 years now. Yes, there's going to be more broken on Windows 10. I'm going to have experienced more issues on Windows 10 because I've used it for longer. So, I'm not 100% sure who I'm 100% giving the dub to. Would I go back to Windows 10? No. No, I don't think I would. Just because Windows 11 is a lot nicer. Again, excluding the venereal bloatware disease that is known as TikTok and the rest of the BS crew. But yeah. So, I know I only really documented 2 weeks out of the, 10 or so that I did, that I've been using Windows 11, and it's mainly because, after so much, there isn't much more I can document. Like, what am I supposed to say? Week 8, I made a new file, a game crashed, don't know why, could have been the game, but yeah, I'm not documenting every single little thing. Nothing has been monumental, bad, or good. So, yeah, it just works. Which is what I need as an everyday person, and this is one reason why I won't go with Linux. Because Linux doesn't just work. I'll use Linux on my servers. I'll use Linux on PCs that I don't use often. But I will never use it on my main PC until it just works. Because while Windows 10 might have its funky driver errors, in an hour I can have it fixed. Or it's easy to fix. But on Linux, you have to be a programmer. And while I am a programmer, I don't want to have to fix my own crap. I want something where if I download a game, I just run it and it works. That and Linux just has no compatibility with VR. Now, if I grab another graphics card and I use Windows in a VM, would I use Linux? Maybe. But I don't have another graphics card to pass through to a VM. And Windows just works. And that's what I like about it. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy, like, subscribe, share, do whatever. Just subscribe to me, you stupid idiots. Just kidding. Love you all. I'ma fuck up my life. I'ma fuck up my life. We gon' party all night.